When I was a boy, among the Sierra Club's members was Arnita, my mother. And now the Sierra Club is run by a brother. If today's weird is tomorrow's mainstream, then this group is making real a beautiful dream. Greetings, my fellow Earthlings and Bioneers. I'm Baratunde Thurston, and I'm honored to appear for a second time before you on this stage this week to make sense of our time together in this powerful place. With talk of indigeneity, rights of nature, and care, I am confident we are the Broligarchy's worst nightmare. We've heard several times with no sugarcoating how at worst we're sinking, at best barely floating. Amidst a rising tide of would-be ubermensch running asymmetric warfare like a bunch of nihilists, these dudes think the playbook is all Game of Thrones, but they seem to forget what happens to the elites in Westeros. At least we got a trigger warning before this jarring show and tell in real talk from Jealous, Hartman, and especially Isabel. Thomas Lindsay also dropped some words of love that felt tough. He said, and I quote, "Our current environmental activism in America, it sucks. We'd do a lot more if we obeyed a lot less. Our democracy is a myth being put to the test." I spotted a point of light in this zone of dark skies. Jose Barrero said, "We're not weak, we're just disorganized." No matter which way you look at the facts, like Gudgy Cook said, we must embrace for impact. The power of singing and dancing and drumming got my weary and fragile heart a-thumping. Earth is just without the art. So being creative is doing our part. The Earth co-authored a song of the universe I rock with. And was it just me, or were those sperm whales beatboxing? Whoever thought hip-hop would make it this far? Which truly more than human? That ninja lawyer, Cesar. Now, Janine said the word refugia at least 3 times. But if I said I knew what it meant, you know I'd be lying. There's a river that flies from the Amazon to Canada, she reported, but all I could think of is, will Trump try to deport it? One thing I'll cling to when I've got too much to juggle, nature's true existence is snuggle more than struggle. Decolonize tea. Decolonize your mind. Decolonize the very idea of calling anything mine. Young Shreya said this, she's just 22 years old, and this was her first time public speaking, or so I am told. And speaking of young people who made me feel old, Asa from Scarsdale, your path is too bold. Your thoughts were too deep, your jokes were too funny. I feel like you're messing with my source of money. Now, you did pose a question that is mired in fog. Is raw food better for your teacher's dog? I took this query to AI for its consideration, but that was before Kenny called it algorithmic insemination. Doria offered us glorious advice. Meet in the backyard, in person at least twice a month to talk, to dream, to act, and take the first steps, like make Berryland a fact. Grow food, but in the process also grow leaders, build relationship with land, treat nature as a teacher. You can transform what once was a great dividing line into a kind of bonding agent, a community's new spine. When women lead, the earth herself thrives. Amira, Kahea, Melinda, oh my. The grassroots are growing, just give them a chance, from Alameda to Akwesasne to Afghanistan. And since fascist government takeovers are a thing right now, why don't we humans just throw in the towel? Hand the keys to nature instead. I promise it's better than whatever's in Elon's head. Since birds in a flock never seem to collide, put them in charge of the FAA and our friendly skies. I heard ponds keep their promises every single spring, so I say ponds for president. It's got a nice ring. We need less separation and something like a chief weaver. This sounds like Wade Crowfoot's full employment for beavers. There's just one creature that I'm not having, no official positions for that trickster rabbit. Colette said borders, race, and money are lies. Hurricanes like Katrina don't respect your state lines. What's true is Mother Earth, the four direction, Father Sky, and we'd see that more clearly if we used our spiritual eyes. We're fighting ghosts and all kinds of things that aren't real. There's some stuff from our history with which we must deal, like the doctrine of discovery and colonization and white supremacy and the myth of separation, that this nation is really more of an actual corporation and there's no climate justice without black liberation. Also, they made up their rules, so why can't we? Why not center the full right of trees? Why not blur the line between you and me? Why not pass laws locally that codify reciprocity? But let's not tie ourselves in knots of knots. Let's also imagine and affirm and plot. Let's have a real vision for what we want and then get to building the world we want, where nature's our home, not some place we just visit. We belong to the same circle and it is exquisite. But more than that, it's a family relation, our partner in the web of all creation. In fact, we don't own it, nor does it own us. Nature owns itself, held in indigenous trust. When we get to a point where we feel we lack bandwidth, remember the salmon people and how they freed the Klamath. All power we have is meant to be shared. So let's rebuild the world on a culture of care. To avoid the damnation of techno solutions, we're probably going to have to rewrite that old Constitution. But I'm getting lofted. We need to stay grounded, return to first principles that predate our founding. We'll start all our gatherings with appreciation and make our choices for the seventh generation. Honor our women and their decision making. We'll practice peace as taught by the Six Nations. When I sing this, you sing after me. Power, power, power to the peaceful. Power to the peaceful. And since language creates our reality, we'll reroute in place and community, awaken languages thought lost to history, perhaps with the help of our new relations, the machines, you see? And we will speak into existence a thriving, regenerative, abundant, resilient, a bioregional, interconnected contingent, a coalition so big you'd call it omnibeneficent, transcending resistance, embodying true commitment to life and life ways that are hella magnificent. And it'll all be powered by the ultimate renewable energy. Bill McKibben says it's practically free. It's a boundless resource that comes from above, what Chief Oren Lyons calls the first principle, love. A ritual of self-love is what we really need. Maybe Nina's scented oils rubbed into our quantum bodies. with a self that spans from infinitesimal to infinity, in that chrysalis transforming from me to we. I struggled for a long while for the words that could end this. How about we, the living, declare interdependence?